Hello everyone, I am back again. Second day in a row actually, as I'm playing through this straight. I had a lot of fun last night and I thought we made some pretty good progress. Starting to get the hang a little better of some of those tougher boss fights maybe, and how to exploit their weaknesses, or how sort of some of the damage works, and which categories sort of make the biggest difference. So last night we finished off the abandoned mines area, sort of. I think there may be some stuff to go back for there at some point, but we went through a number of bosses. I think at least three. We had the Wyvern, who kicked our butt the time before last, and a fire elemental, and then an ogre. Sort of a quick physical heavy hitter. And after that, we emerged from the mines back into Leamond, I guess. I think town west, west part of the town, um, very close to where we had been when we originally came out of the Sanctum into the city for the first time. And in fact, we were right on the other side of a canal that had blocked our path before. But now, from this side, we had access to a cloudstone that can take us back and forth. And so there was a workshop on the other side of that canal that we visited before that I was able to go back to. So I took a little time and actually did that off video, I guess earlier, kind of in between some other life stuff that I was doing, because I thought it might just be like quite a bit of like menu and like random combination trying things to see if I could make anything new. So I've done that, and I've come back now to Rue Bouquet, where we left off last night. And as I fade in here, I can show off some of the new equipment that I made. I don't know how impactful it really is. Um, there wasn't a whole lot, especially on the weapon side. In particular, I was really hoping to be able to make something blunt that was maybe a little bit of an upgrade, and that didn't really happen. I have some two-handed blunt maces, but I was keen to stick with the one-handed so I can use a shield for the defensive properties. It seemed pretty useful, and also gem slots and everything. So I think I might try to stick with one hand this time around. That's kind of the approach I took anyway to this upgrade cycle. I still have my trusty hand axe here that I've been using quite a bit through the mines. And the human, even without a gem, has gotten up to 28 affinity, which is pretty nice. Looks like I have a little fire affinity too. I may have switched some grips around here to get slightly better damage type ratings. I'm not sure. The light crossbow, I just swapped out I forget what the other one was even called, but this was a slight upgrade from it. It's maybe like a tier 2 or whatever crossbow, so it's got a little bit higher damage. The crossbow I've mostly so far been using to pick off bats, I guess, and to abuse the range so I can hit like spellcasters and stuff who are staying far away with like silence, or melee people as they rush in to attack me with paralysis to keep them from ganging up on me a little bit. So on the weapon side, the only really new things here, I had like 3 rapiers, I think a couple bronze and 1 iron. And since this is the only piercing sword that I've seen so far, I went ahead and combined the bronze and iron rapiers into Hagane, which definitely has a little bit higher stats than they would otherwise. And this workshop combines bronze and iron, and only bronze and iron. So I'm hoping, I did this with some armor pieces as well, even though it wasn't really, it was kind of like a side grade, like not a strict upgrade. But changing the material for like my arm pieces and stuff, or my chest piece to Hagane, still gives you a few stat points, and I'm hoping that material change can carry with me as I carry those upgrades forward, and turn them into new things, that I'll be able to keep the material. So the rapier isn't exactly new. I got dropped straight for that, but I went ahead and invested into it a little bit. The short sword, however, is new. And I made that just by, again, sort of trial and error. I think whatever sword I had, I guess it was actually a rapier. It was the third rapier, the leftover second bronze rapier that I had. I just tried some random combinations for other things, and I think I made basically the weakest edged sword that there is in the game. I forget what it's called, like a spatha or something. And that combined with the rapier to create a short sword, which I hadn't seen before and seemed to have slightly higher stats than the rapier or the spatha that I had before. So I went ahead and did it, thinking it was, at least moving up the tree. It's a little low on agility, which I'm a little worried about. So I'm still carrying the hand axe, especially against human enemies, maybe. Although the class affinity really seems to make, so far, the smallest amount of difference in damage of anything. Because those are about the only gems I have right now, is stuff like Dragonite, and whatever the human one is called, Herelis or something. Those give you like only 15, I guess, bonus to that class, but it's still something, and they just really haven't made much of an impact on the fight so far. So that's where I am with weapons. Shields, I really haven't picked up many of these, so there's nothing I could do there. For armor, I made a few combinations again and have left behind a number of other things. The only extra thing I'm carrying here is the wizard robe because of its high intelligence spell defense. I thought that might potentially come in handy situationally. I haven't really kept hold of any of the other lower level stuff that I had. Again, some things transitioned to Hagane. I think I had a couple ring mail, bronze and iron, so I just made that. And same with the headpiece and the arm piece. Again, with the hope that I'll be able to carry that material forward in further upgrades down the line. It seemed like an opportune time to do it because this workshop allows bronze and iron, and the previous didn't. I don't know, the next might as well. Maybe they just are additive and you can do more and more. But if not, I have higher level material to combine in the future. And that's about it. I think the gauntlet is a new piece. It was a combination of like chain sleeve and ring sleeve or something like that. Slight upgrade, but it's not the better material. So it lags behind some of these, but hopefully it can combine with something else in the future. And that's it. I drained all my items, whatever, like, I don't know what they're called, but like the buff items, permanent buff items with like strength and HP. I think the one that I had left over was strength, and it actually gave me a +4, which was a nice roll on that, I guess. I'm not sure if you can get +5. The post-boss roulette has +5 for some things, I think. But +4 was pretty good. So yeah, here we are back in Town Center West. This canal here to the north is the same area that we saw earlier before we had to go back down into the mines and move over this way. There is a door here that I think we passed at the end of the session last night. Glacialdra Kirk Ruins. That is locked by the Rude Inverse, which sounds, if I remember, I actually think I remember this from many, many years ago, that may lead down into sort of some end game / post game / new game plus kind of stuff. The Rude Inverse, I think anyway, is a pretty high level end game kind of item. I wouldn't expect to probably be in there for a while. But at any rate, we're ready to push forward, and I'm hoping it goes okay. So I may just need to run around this area a little bit. I think the way we want to go is this way. It's the only... actually, is that... That might not be right. I think does this lead back to the canal? I'm just gonna have to run around here and get my bearings again. Yeah, so this leads back to the canal. So I guess I can go first person here. So that over there, that's where we fought those two knights, the Crimson Blades and like the Spellcaster when we first came out of the Sanctum. And this Cloudstone was like down here somewhere, and it was like black and red, I think, looking inactive. And when I first came back here, it was just active and moving back and forth. Oh, the game actually pauses when I am in first person. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. And there were a number of knights between here and the workshop, and so I just, whacked away at them. Took the chance to raise up my human affinity on the hand axe again. This is our locked door with the root inverse, so that'll be back for someday there. And I think this takes us back to where we just were, loops around to our save, and this is where we came out of the mines. We could go back down there if we wanted. So it's actually dead end there, so it is back here that I think we have a path we haven't traveled. I forget her name. She was an associate of Guildenstern's. It's like another dungeon entrance. What have you found? Ancient Chaldean lettering. It's quite worn, nigh unreadable. Anything useful? I think not yet. The carvings are particularly deep in places. They're quite charming. What do they mean? Ancient Chaldean from Mullenkamp's time. So even though not all these groups sort of worship this priestess as whatever, powerful, seems to have been like a real person at least, and known to history at least, I guess. I'm not sure we've heard the Chaldean term before. Truly, these were written before the birth of Saint Iacchus. We have heard of the Iacchean priesthood, a time when sorcerers were common as sellswords. What is it? So magic has diminished over time, maybe? And everyone here is kind of, they see the power that Sydney has, and the Cardinal at least seems to want it. Immortality, the ability to like compel, control, or influence people. The Cardinal, who will not stop the legacy of Mullenkamp, the Grimoires, from falling into the wrong hands. Or sorry, he will stop. Will he not? Of course, my love. To cede its power to a fanatic such as Sydney would be madness. I fear he already has the Grand Grimoire. What think you? I do not know. Yet surely we would not be here, chatting so amiably, if he had. The Grand Grimoire, the ultimate codex of sorcery. It is only a book, a covenant, yet it is the prime mover, the machinery of life itself. And if you had that book, Sydney, you wouldn't know what to do with such power. Then pray tell, for what purpose have you been in league with the Duke these many years? You seek to control men, nay, to control God himself. Oh, please. Warping the minds of men and shepherding the masses has always been your church's domain. Ooh, blasphemy. You lure sheep with empty miracles and a dead God. Or perhaps you too are a sheep, Samantha. A poor little lamb bleeding for your faith, as though it were milk of the poppy. Yet mark your Savior well, for he is one of the demons you so fear, Samantha. A sweeter faith still is the draught called love. Ah, truly, the Cardinal's own hand. Your will is strong, Guildenstern. You are not the only shepherd here, Sidney. Watch your crook, lest it be wrenched from you. It's no use, we must make haste. The fiend. Run, Sidney. You will be ours in the end. Yeah, so that's the first mention we've heard of the Grand Grimoire, but clearly they're fighting over this sort of magical arts lost to history, power and the power over others. So I think that is the way Sydney went. Actually, wait, what? How did they not see Ashley? This is like a dead end. So I see a door on the map up here. What? No, it's in here. But I cannot get through. Take my time with these guys since I can paralyze them pretty easily. It looked like I gained some darkness there. So I've actually got air, fire, dark. I wonder actually if your top stat affinity is equal between 2 or more categories, which do you get? All of them? Anyway, I'm sure edged is not the strongest against those guys. I think piercing is pretty effective. Can I actually fall off this? I guess so. It's pretty effective, but again, I've been using that weapon against humans pretty consistently. I'm pretty sure I don't know where I'm going. These people are back, but I should maybe take a moment to look at my map here. So do I need to find a way? What is this exit? I think I came in here, and right in this area there is a door blocking my access to that. That's the workshop. That's the root inverse door. That's the abandoned mines. That loops back to there. City Walls West and the Sanctum. Right, so City Walls West is what leads down into the abandoned mines. Don't really need to fight these guys. Here we go. What? I am confused here. I see. So, somebody here. Yeah, so this area shows a door up there as well. I guess that's that one, but I didn't see this one when I passed through this area before, where I triggered the cutscene here, and I didn't really get to see the area. So anyway, this is the way forward. This looks like potentially the room where Sydney and, yeah, Hardin and Callow were hanging out. So that's promising. Yeah, I really haven't been getting many equipment drops. That was a good one. I got a weapon and armor from that. Nothing amazing, but I'm not sure how to get hold of some new weapons really to make new things. Just need to keep fighting. Wow, I don't know why that comes to mind, but like the music here sounds like the Harry Potter music. Hold on. this is well before that. Not well before, but before. That's interesting. Let's see what this area is called. The Undercity. I'm gonna regret leaving my silver dagger behind, maybe. But all it does have light affinity, I guess, as well as undead. But again, the class affinity doesn't seem like that powerful. Very weak to light, also weak to fire, and weakest to piercing. So anything I attack with is going to build light, I guess. So let's try out the rapier. Why not? Rapier already has 6 fire, actually. 2 light. Short for someone has 8 light. Oh, that's bad. I don't have a gem hilt on that. See? Now what? Yeah, like the affinity has a huge difference, makes a huge difference. So now that I'm doing physical, I'm doing 0, even though I'm using piercing. His strength is 120. 97 means weak to magic, I guess. Yeah, so he has pretty high affinity, well, some defense against physical. And the piercing weakness is minor, so I guess that's the difference. It's just such a large difference from like 25 some damage to nothing. So the short sword is edged, but is doing physical again, so I'd expect it to do nothing. It's unfortunate that I didn't. There are a lot of subtleties and annoyances about the way the UI works, and one of them is definitely that it is difficult to tell which things have gem slots, and you're already like 4 menus deep when you're like combining blades and trying to put weapons together and compare things, and you can't sort unless you go to like the other equip item menu screen. So I thought I had a fire gem that I got in the Undercity, which will give me 15 fire. That should overcome my physical, I think. Yes. So this should now do reasonable damage, even if it would probably be stronger on hand axe. And 15 to be 27. So yeah, so this had like 9 fire, I guess. Anyway, let's try out the new sword. It's got the highest strength, so it's very similar. Paralyze in effect, we can just take our time, whack away at this, and try to get some points. Maybe. Pretty similar, not as weak to light. And no particular type weakness. That edge defense makes me think I'm gonna do... I think I'm gonna do less damage overall because fire and edged are a little less weak or stronger. And yet I actually do more. Maybe the base stats are different. Hit percentage is pretty low. Queese, that's a new one. I have like literally one piece of leg armor, so that's maybe a decent drop to make some progress there. I remember this Undercity area pretty well. Just like the hue of the lighting, sort of the ambiance. Always just walk right into these boss rooms. Okay, I need to defend myself here, and I can't. Okay, yeah, that hurt. I don't have water defense. I don't have frost guard. it's doing water, you might think it's weak to fire. Not weak enough, apparently. I don't think this is going to do anything. I don't think any of these are going to do anything. Attack type isn't enough. Blunt might be a good guess. Oh wow, actually that makes quite a difference. So the arms are very weak. I think I need to heal, however, because it's about to attack me again. Maybe it's the same kind of pattern. I need to stay in close here to avoid the big elemental attack. Okay. I'm actually doing air. These actually take a lot of MP. I'm screwing up. I wanted to look at my defense arts here. Wait a minute, didn't I? Yeah, I guess I haven't bought any defense abilities for a while, so yeah. I should be warding or reflecting, or rather impact guarding or reflecting. Uh-oh, that's death. Well, not quite. Okay, so that mixed it up. So he has an ability or a spell that he can do in close like that. No, he's not hitting me. Just trying to take advantage while he's at the exclamation, but not attacking. Nice. So I have a feeling he was similar in that he had fairly high affinity resistance. So I guess I had enough overall strength that I could just pick the right attack type. Nice. air affinity on the weapon. And those spells seem like they're going to be a big help, you know, once you have the right ones. To overcome affinity you may lack. So, since I happened into this boss room again, I have great luck choosing those first. I'm going to go this way first. This is a save room or something. I actually like to set up my chain art to temper. Paralysis is really good, it seems like right now. Attacking the right thing. Since this has air, it's doing fine, but I think I should switch. Build this up, and then I can keep that one doing air for some diversity, I guess. That's pretty good damage. Can't silence. Not a lot of HP. Yeah, I think Crimson Pain would be nice to get with the synergy, Raging Ache synergy, but I think it can wait. I should choose some defense abilities, maybe. This will be nice, but this is a little more general. Let's take it. It's probably good enough. This is locked up. Silver key again. Interesting. Pretty low hit percent chance on these casters, though. Numbness. I have the wrong skill on. I think you can probably still attack me, right? Be really nice if they just gave you a little bit of quality of life, you know, like when you touch a save point, because you can just stand around and regain MP and technically health. Like, you can just stand around long enough and get full, so it'd be nice if they just sort of you know, refilled you quicker when you touch a save spot or something, just to move things along a little bit. Sunless Way. Yes, that sounds familiar. Iron Key, okay. 2 exits. It's back to Sound Center. So the Bread Peddler's Way. Way of the Mother Lode. Sewer of Ravenous Rats. Underdark Fish Market. I guess this stuff doesn't really tell me like what items they have or anything. These are the things I'm fighting now. That looks like a short sword and a shield. I'd like that shield. That's a 2-handed axe. That's a... is it a dagger? Dagger or a staff, I guess. Also shield. I wonder if there's anything I can do to just get them to drop those more frequently. Probably not, I guess. It's just a... percent chance kind of thing. I do like that you can see, you know, the kind of weapons they're carrying and stuff, and that they likely drop. All right. Really? Oh, jeez. It's a bad roll. Couple Hagane drops. Oh, I see. My intelligence down probably affected that heal. Snow. No, snow flies. So he's seeing through her eyes now. Well, will she open for you? Nay, the sigil holds it fast. How fare you? It was just a workshop. I mean, your men, how many have we lost? How goes the battle, you mean? The city is ours, dearie, more or less. How many are dead? 3, maybe 4 score. We've lost contact with some. We'll know better when the fighting cools. The dead walk in greater numbers as the day wanes. So Commander Nisa, it's the first time meeting her. I think we've heard of her. The symptoms resemble those of case 72, was it? Borrowing another's ears and eyes, clairvoyance, if you will. You're not a Knight of the Cross, one of Sydney's then? Rosencrantz. Yeah, so he was taking orders from Duke Bordoba at the beginning, I think. So he is also VKP. So I think we've heard Leomond referred to as the Shade City before, and here he calls it the Dark City. So Kildea must have been an ancient town or city-state or nation group that Mullenkamp was a part of. If you would enter the forest, follow the snowflies. They gather where the dark runs strongest. So I should have maybe popped my head into the area after the boss there. Turns out. Just for expediency, I'm just gonna run through here. I could get some drops off these guys. We also have this area that I didn't look into. Silver keys and iron keys. Should probably save, but yeah. Yeah, so clearly, if magic has been kind of something sort of lost over time through history, Ashley's abilities are obviously unusual and even for him, new. Oh, hook on a short sword. I went to all that trouble just to make that, but I'll take it. I'd love it if I could get the shield to drop. I am lost now. Wow, I completely forgot that I backtracked here already, found a locked door, and then went back to the boss room? Apparently so. Well, my mistake. We got a short sword out of it. In fact, I should take a look at that, considering. It'll stay physical, though. If physical is too high, even my gem can't overcome that. It's only 15. Oops. This one, yeah. Right. Well, let's leave it. We're headed to the forest, and we're gonna get some new enemies there. So let's see what they are before we worry too much about how our equipment is set up. Dropping armor, but not the weapons. Strong. That also looks like a dagger. That might be nice to get. Nice! Although daggers, like, I don't know, they're such short range. But that's a good drop. That's a new one. Hagane as well. Well, I'm keen to push forward, so we'll see how it goes. That does look like an area I could farm for some weapons and a shield maybe that I don't have. Okay, we've seen this guy before as well when we first came into the city, I think. Seemed like a grade A jerk. Okay. So Dwayne must have been the other spellcaster, or the other guy who looked like this, I guess. He was the spellcaster that we fought when we first came to the city. So they hunt him for that reason? Only that reason? Because the Blades and Parliament, or the VKP, seem to be sort of allied. I mean, these two are talking. He's VKP. Okay, so there may be, if they mean the silver key or the iron key, they're looking for the same thing. So he could be lying. He might not be VKP, or he may be, but his real allegiance lies with the Duke. It's the same advice he gave me. Do you realize something, or? So they say that the dark is actually drawn to me. This will be some sort of a maze, of course. There's only one way to go. the foliage cover, it's actually hard to see in this area. It looks like these are actually named rooms, so it's something. Doesn't like physical, doesn't like air. Pierce or blunt. Strong to air, it looks like. I don't have an earth weapon. I don't have an enchant for that either. I have Terra Guard, not a weapon. these are on the map, it must be representative of the actual area, but clearly it's sort of warping around. Many of the areas are very similar. So I guess for now I'm just wandering to map this out. So I want to go to the south or the west, but which way is that? I wonder if that's actually bad to use that, because it just provokes their ability, which is quite strong. Yeah, I am gaining air hitting them, so they are weak to it. That's why I'm doing so much. I see there. I can see the shape of the area in the mini-map. Oh man. Seems bad. I'm not healed or anything. That is trouble. Literally right back down to where I was before I just used that mega potion. What? Okay. If it's an earth dragon, I have a good guess. Looks like that succeeded as well. Weakest to air, but still. Oh, but it's strong to blunt, and blunt is what my air weapon. Let's look at that again. So Pierce and Edge did both good choices. Oh god, this short sword has 1 agility. It's 3 different than... Hand X is -4, that's crazy. Rapier is pretty bad. This is 8 dragon as well. So it lets me equip this, but it says it has to be on a weapon. Let's try the rapier, but this short sword they can take a gem like Braveheart. Well, it has another Braveheart on it. Seems like it probably will be pretty good. Wow, that was weird. I couldn't... Terra Guard. What? How? That one I can do. How did I miss? Must just be because my armor is getting better. I still can't hurt him. He's literally just pivoting. Oh, come on. That was good timing. Oh, I can't hit his tail. And that is bizarre. Like, just exiting my battle mode there, because I couldn't attack the tail, basically triggered my defense way too early on his attack. If I die, I'm gonna get these items back anyway, so I might as well try to stick in here and learn what I can. My air is not high enough. I mean, I could try the blunt weapon, even though he's strong to blunt, is the strongest air, but only by like a few points. just try a Prostasia. His legs are weakest. Wait, his tail. I couldn't hit his tail. How come? It was right there. If it's a target, why? So his head. I could try Dragonite, but strength and everything is really high, so I think he needs a Degenerate. He needs a Degenerate, and I need Air Attack. Awesome. Wow, is he just like immune to it? His intelligence and strength were both very high. It may just be hard to land. Zero percent, and I clicked it again. I didn't see the number before. That's a bit of a problem. I need 15 to do this. I need to do damage to actually regen any MP. If he's immune to that, I have to Prostasia myself, but does that mean that I can't hit my air affinity? His elemental is just so high that that might not really work. Wait, what happens? I kind of missed that. I used. Oh, that was risk. I want MP, not risk. I have very few of these items. It's pretty low. It's still nothing. So how do I get to his tail? Can I? Like, it basically seems like I can't get to his tail. Great, and I missed it? Like, where's my defense on that? Ugh. I also would like to know where this guy is so that I can avoid it maybe until I explore. Basically straight through and to the right. I mean, could I run away? Really? I can't get his tail. I don't understand. Edged physical on the tail, and it's terrible. Tail looked weak to edge, but it's fine. Pretty much just invincible. So those basilisk enemies were weak to air, meaning I could farm that up, but his air defense was 25. And I need it on an edged weapon, probably. I guess I should have tried the blunt and buffed it with air just to see. Like if I get air over 25, if that would like be an inflection point where I start doing actually like damage. So the orientation of the trees as well in these areas that are like symmetrical. The orientation of the trees can show me which way. So I actually want to go this way. These things are opposite. I think the sword was best against them. Oops, just physical. Against these smaller enemies, it's actually kind of good to just avoid the tick damage and them wearing you down by comboing highly, and then you can just let your risk go down. Plus high risk gives you a better heal. It's dragging me toward it. That undid the air affinity. Actually, it just said +1 earth. I didn't lose air. Edged. That's so silly. I should be using numbness on all these things. Ugh. So it hits very quickly. Because their regular attacks I don't think are all that dangerous, but those special attacks are damaging. So as I heal, my armor's light affinity goes up, which means the heals are going to do less. It's so nice to just have a quick way to just swap my weapon over. It's so important. It's really bizarre they don't have that when they have like quick access to all these things: chain items, break arts, all your spells. Jeez. Oh, I see. It kills the So, I don't know. I guess hitting the defensive arts and everything there, like, I really got my risk up high. Those guys are a little hard to hit. Yeah, the fact that there is no... Is there anywhere else for me to go? I mean, I found lots of locked doors, some doors that only opened one way, iron key, silver key. Seems like the way to be going, but... Just ended up back where I started. And like if I were to go back to this crossroad, I can tell I've gone one of the directions, but I've actually gone more than that. It's just they resulted in my warping sort of like somewhere else, and so I can't see where they take us. I'm supposed to follow the flies, or they're supposed to get denser where it's more dangerous maybe, but like is it just like it looks like snow or like pollen or seeds in the air blowing. They're blowing to the left. Does that mean I should go to the left? Because I don't see them gathering. But now they're kind of going back the way I came. Yeah. So we've been all the directions here. Let's go to the right again. Try up this time. Okay. But I've done this before and ended up just back somewhere. There's only one exit from there, so let's try. Yeah, to the left or the right here. This isn't the way I want to go though, so I'm going to go back. Where? Okay, so this is basically a dead end. I can go here, but this takes me back somewhere. I can go here, this takes me toward the dragon. And I can go to the left, which reset me. And I've come from this northern entrance. It doesn't actually connect to anything. To look at the trees. Thing is, depending on how you rotate this, the trees could be correct in two positions. So that kind of oblong arm is supposed to be at the bottom. can't even tell. It kind of distorts. Getting really close to the dragon again. I'm gonna try to go to my right here, I think, just to see. Seriously. 267s in a row. Missed. Wow, that's like 4 out of 6 misses at 60%. Pretty sure going to the right, to the west here. This might actually be the way to the boss, basically. Yep. Nice. What? Oh, I didn't use my item. So I did some farming, obviously, wandering through the forest there. Let's see what my air is. $64. That is way higher than his defense. Still 0 damage. Not even a good hit percent. Damage, 50% chance, not even. Okay, let's see if I can Prostasia with this on. Nope. It's useless to do this, but... I mean, my air is 40% higher than his defense. His agility, his strength, his intelligence, his base stats are just so high. And he seemed to be immune to degenerate. He has fairly high blunt as well. Maybe there's a part that's less strong to blunt. Nope. Edged actually seems like the most effective there, but so it gives you like 50. Gives you like 50 affinity. That's really something. Makes maintaining the weapons easier. If you want to have 3 affinity on each weapon, like I can have air, fire, and light, right? You could have 3 because each has only one opposite, unlike class, which is like this hierarchy where the 2 below the 2 below each entry can go down if that entry goes up. And then the type can't really change all that much, just strictly from the grip on your weapon. So because the base stats of this dragon are so high, and I don't know what the base stats on the other dragons were. They were high too, I'm sure, but I didn't think as high, but I didn't really pay attention to that. And that's what makes me feel like there's just not a whole lot I can do here. I don't know, it really seems like I'm hitting the, I can read the timing on that attack better than most of them, but still not getting it. Well, it's getting pretty late here, so I think I'll let my back brain work on that one a little bit over the next however long, until I can play again. And we'll go from there. Some decent progress. Sort of through the Undercity there and getting some better equipment, and then hooking around in the forest and getting a little more narrative as well. Not sure we learned anything too much that we didn't know already. Just gonna fade out the music there. But yeah, we're getting more and more information about Ashley's powers that seem to be awakening in the city. His proximity to the darkness, the creatures that are drawn to him, like his awakened battle memories and the magic that he's learning to wield. as well as, I guess, what it is all the factions are kind of after, and the power of this area. So we'll see what we can find out next time. Good night.